Time to go Betty bye. Night night. Oh, I want to because this is something I'll probably forget. So I hope this isn't one I forget. So I'm going to talk about this now so I don't forget it.
Guess what?
This is something I just want to alert you guys to. You're probably big Pee Wee Herman fans, Paul Rubin fans. I am. This is something I haven't even got to watch yet. There is a 2-part documentary coming out about Paul Rubens, who of course died of cancer in that was sometime in 2024, right? But I guess they were making a documentary about his life. Actually, let me see who directed this. If it's Judd Apatow, I'll take everything back that I just said. No, it doesn't say who the director is. Okay, cool. But everybody, this is great news. He is a man who is, as you know, there's very few comedic geniuses that come along. Him and Phil Hartman are two very underappreciated people. They wrote Pee-wee's Big Adventure, one of my favorite films. Wait, what's going to be slander? You think this is going to be slander? I don't think so. I think this is going to be fantastic. I want to see the dark side of Pee-wee anyway. I want to see him rolling around in a bunch of hard drives of unnamed stuff. You know, I want to see him.
I'm having a party, and you're.
I want to see him eat gum off the bottom of a cafeteria table. I want to see real freak shit. I don't care. He's so funny, so iconic. No one had a bigger influence over my childhood besides Paul Rubens and Conan O'Brien. No one did. They were. I didn't give a shit about comedy, but I just loved those two guys. I loved them so much. God, I love them both. I love silly, gummy guys who feel like they're just like they're made of this weird Jello gelatin, and they can become anything and save any bad joke and be funny on the fly. And I loved him. Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I loved nothing more as a kid than that movie, really. And then growing up, you know, the adult version of that is Freddy Got Fingered. Shout out to the GOAT, Tom Green.
What? I'm having a party, and you're invited.
It's weird to be in this situation.
I'm watching this for the first time with you guys.
Having a documentary made because I'm used to having control of my alter ego. I wanted to be a performance artist. I could show you my characters. Out of nowhere, Pee Wee Herman popped out of me. The audience ate it up and went crazy.
When I first saw Paul as Pee-wee, I was like, who is this little man in this bow tie, and why is he throwing Tootsie Rolls?
Wait, was that Morpheus? Was that Lawrence Fishburne in this bitch? You know this is going to be a good doc. And you know this man needs to laugh. As we speak, there's being videos of trains being ran on his daughter, being uploaded to the internet as we speak. I think. I'm not really sure. From what I understand, his daughter does porn or something, which is like, you know. I guess that's why you need to, like, you know, not pursue any sort of real career that hard when they're, like, ages 0 to 4. You really need to be home for that. You know, maybe he should have said no to a role or two. You know, now if he wants to wank, he might go incognito mode and accidentally see his own daughter's asshole.
Like, who is this little man in this bow tie, and why is he throwing Tootsie Rolls at people?
Hollywood had taken notice. I mean, how could they not?
I remember thinking, this is going to be really big.
There wasn't like a moment in the 80s that wasn't super cool to be me. And then dark music. Bum, 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 bum. I lost control of my anonymity, and it was devastating. I don't want to come off like a victim in some way. I kept who I was a secret for a really long time. I hid behind an alter ego.
Today's secret word is fun.
I want kids to learn, not only is being different okay, let's celebrate it, but I want that not just for you, but for myself. Death is just so final.
So one thing I want to say real quick, this is a very old interview I found with Norm before he was diagnosed with cancer. I think around, it was this interview he did in like 2011. It's called like What's So Funny or something like that. And it's a very serious interview. Norm's not funny for the 2 hours in it. It's audio only. And he's talking to some comic in Canada, I guess in some hotel room or something. He's talking about his son Dylan moving out of the house. And Norm's talking about how, you know, how much he loved his son. And he said something along the lines of when his son, you know, when he goes, when your boy moves out of the house and goes to college, it's the worst day of your life and it's the best day of theirs. And it sounds like he's almost crying, talking about how, like, you know, he loves texting his son, but it breaks his heart every time he doesn't text him back. It's not that they have a bad relationship. He just loves his boy that much. You know, Norm didn't really go on the road when his son was young, and from what I understand, and didn't really do comedy and just stayed home and was a good dad and everything. And I know he had his problems. But that was what the interview was about. It was about God. And it was very serious. And he said something very, very interesting about comedy, where he said as much respect as he had for Richard Pryor and, you know, like the confessional comedy that really Louis is the genesis of for this generation of people that go up that are like, I'm a fucking asshole. I'm a piece of shit. I don't give a fuck. Here's what I fucking think. And I don't care if it's wrong and fuck you. That type of, yeah, I say faggot, that type of stuff. The confessional type of comedy, which Louis obviously was incredible at, it inspired 1,000 idiots. You know, as Norm said about Jon Stewart was such a genius. He inspired 1,000 retards, something along those lines, where every comic felt like they had to be political or whatever. And, but Norm said in this interview, and I'm bringing this up because I want to say this about Paul Reubens, which I didn't even consider in this moment when Norm was talking about him. So that as much respect as he had for like Richard Pryor or whatever, he argued that if you could transcend the person, if you could transcend the comedian, that was a true mark of the best comedian that there was, which he believed to be like Bob Newhart, where he said, Bob had writers and everything, but Bob played this character. And Norm said that shouldn't that be the goal, kind of, is well, you are a character. You're like Bugs Bunny. And it's interesting he said Bugs Bunny, because even Chappelle has said in interviews that his biggest influence in comedy is Bugs Bunny. And if you look at Chappelle's early stuff, it's very cartoonish and animated and just sort of insane. But that is Paul Reubens. Like, if you can just become a character entirely, that it really is just this fantastic, beautiful thing where I mean, I even think about how much I love Norm, and like Norm has this like Bob Dylan-esque sort of thing where I never know what he's saying when he's telling a story. You never know if what he said about his own life or anything. You don't know whether it was true or him just making a commentary about myth in general. You never know if he was serious. You never knew where he stood politically or otherwise. And Norm to me was always like a cartoon character as well, like Bob Newhart. And obviously, no offense to, Carlin or Richard Pryor or anything. Those guys were great. But I think he's right. This stuff that Paul Reubens did, it's truly remarkable and incredible. I love it so much.
Death is just so final. To be able to get your message in at the last minute is incredible.
He was so private, it was challenging for him to do the documentary, but he took a leap of faith. He wanted people to see who he was as Paul.
I'm flying!
All these different emotions, all these different influences and factors. I was like a good vessel for it all.
That's the thing too. Norm said at the end of that interview, is he said, he's like, anybody can make anybody laugh, but he thought it was more important to make people smile. So if a comic could Because someone can make you laugh, but they end up making you feel worse about the world. But if they can end up making you kind of smile, he thought that was more important and precious. I don't really know what he meant by that, but I know the people I smile at and I know the people I laugh at, and there's a big difference. Like this right here, when he's this little guy here. Hold on.
All these
Right
different
here.
I'm flying!
Like him, the little guy there. I just smile, man. That's incredible.
all these different emotions, all these different
He just fills you with
influences
joy.
and factors. I was like a good vessel for it all. I'm gonna leave out the part where we did enormous amounts of drugs. Oh, I didn't.
Hell yeah. I wonder if that will be good. If not, I mean, I'll have some fun with it.